What is up, ladies and gents, Ghost here, and today I am going to be asking and hopefully answering the question, what do you expect from Battlefield Hardline? Now, I know a lot of you guys out there and otherwise in the community are kind of skeptical about this game, and that's understandable. The release of Battlefield 4 was less than fantastic. The game has had a lot of ongoing issues, and the preliminary beta for Hardline kind of looked like a bit of a Battlefield 4 skin, and they announced they were going to be charging $60 for the game. But I do feel that a little bit of that hate towards Battlefield 4 is kind of carrying over to Visceral and Hardline, and that's not really deserving of them. I mean, yeah, DICE are working on this game, but you should bear in mind that Visceral, and especially DICE LA, have been doing some great things over on the CTE, and that's also something we should take into consideration. Now, obviously, Hardline is going to be a much more faster-paced game than Battlefield 4. There aren't going to be any vehicles, and as you can imagine, I was a little bit miffed when I first heard this news, being an avid jet pilot, but I've kind of come to terms with the fact that there aren't going to be any vehicles, except for the regular, patrol cars, what I essentially call vehicles that just get you around the map. They don't really serve any other purpose except for transportation. And then, of course, we're going to have the new gadgets like the grappling hooks and the zip lines, which will also aid you in your travels around the city. So it's going to be quite exciting, that, isn't it? We're going to get a game, a multiplayer shooter, where we're able to travel faster than usual. That's never been done before. Oh, wait. Yeah, Titanfall did that, didn't they? Oh, yeah, and Advanced Warfare as well. And Halo 5's coming out soon. But apart from those games, nobody's ever done that before. So that's going to be interesting. But with that said, with that being set in motion by the guys at Visceral, they've said you're not going to be getting these huge weapons, explosives, RPGs, and powerful vehicles. What then do you expect from Battlefield Hardline? What kind of an experience do you hope to get out of this game? Well, personally for me, I hope it's going to be a fantastic infantry experience. And the ways in which I hope it's going to differ from Battlefield 4 is largely in the gadgets we use, actually. I feel that most of the gadgets in Battlefield 4 are very vehicle-centric, so they're centralized around taking out enemy vehicles or repairing them, obviously all of the engineers' gadgets, and then you've got C4 and other things like that. So now with vehicles being a much less prominent part of the game in Hardline, that should pave the way for more gadgets that revolve around infantry play. Now, one worry I do have is that they are going to be somewhat overpowered. Look at the airburst in Battlefield 4. They did take the RPG out of the engineer class for Hardline, which I do actually think is a good idea, whilst a lot of people were in an uproar about this. But you can imagine that probably 80% of the time this thing will be used on infantry, and I reckon this would have gotten quite annoying. But we do have some awesome new gadgets and some changes to some of the old ones that are really, really cool and exciting. So first of all, we have, of course, the zip line and the grappling hooks, and they're going to be available for all of the classes. So no matter what class you're playing, you're going to be able to use those to get from A to B, no pun intended. Then you've got the tracking dart coming back, of course, from Bad Company 2, and this one you can equip as a secondary weapon, so it doesn't even take up one of your gadget slots. That is pretty cool. It's obviously used, by the way, to laser paint enemy vehicles. They've changed Survivalist. If any of you guys played Hardline in the first beta, Survivalist would allow you to revive yourself after you died. Everybody said that was ridiculous and completely OP. They were right. So they have now changed this, and it will only give you a chance to revive yourself if you get road killed or you die via an explosion, which I think is a great way to take this perk. Everybody hates dying to explosives. A nade comes around the corner, there's nothing you can do. An RPG comes around the corner, you walk into a claymore. It's just one of those annoying things of Battlefield, dying to explosives. So I think to have something called Survivalist that gives you a chance to be revived after an explosion kills you is pretty damn cool. Next, we have the Armoured Insert, and this is also a gadget available for all the classes, and it essentially acts the same way as the Armour perk in Battlefield 4, but now it takes up one of your gadget slots, so it's still in the game, but you're going to have to sacrifice quite a lot to get it. One gadget for the Enforcer class, which is the Engineer, is called the Sabotage Bomb, and apparently this is a bomb that you are going to be able to place on objects that you can interact with, so car doors, any objectives that you need to arm or access in any way. You can put one of these sabotage bombs on there, and if somebody on the enemy team tries to access it, presumably the bomb goes off and kills them, or at least damages them. So that's pretty cool, although I can see it getting potentially annoying. Another change I like is that there is now only 2 types of damaging offensive grenades. So you've got, of course, the good old M67, and then you have the incendiary. So there's no minis, there's no impact grenades. The only other grenades are flashes, gas grenades, and smoke grenades. So I think keeping the types of damaging grenades to a minimum is another good thing. So definitely some nice changes and additions coming to the gadget section of the game. I'm excited for those. Another thing, which is going to be interesting, is to see how the game modes play out. I think you'd all agree with me when I say that in Battlefield 4, the most popular game mode is hands down Conquest. And of course we are going to be getting Conquest in Hardline. But I think a large part of the reason people like Conquest in BF4 is because you have all of the vehicles. You've got this all-out vehicular warfare and the infantry stuff going on at the same time. But obviously in Hardline, you're not really going to have that vehicular part of it. So I wonder if that's going to change people's opinions on which is the best game mode. Now, of course, this also depends on how the other game modes do, so once the beta rolls along, I'm looking forward to trying Hotwire on Dust Bowl, and I think we're also going to get access to Conquest mode on High Tension. So that's going to be awesome to get to try that out, see how the new game mode plays out. Pity we can't try Rescue. I would like to try that. It sounds interesting, especially the sort of, you know, esports potential that it possibly has, although I'm not going to get my hopes up about that this time the way I did for BF4. I will definitely be covering this game a lot more once the beta comes along. I'll be bringing you guys as much footage as I possibly can do, so stay tuned for more. Let me know down below your thoughts on Hardline, guys. Are you going to get this game? Are you interested for the beta? You know, are you going to wait for that and then just try it out? And if you're not going to get the game, then why not try the beta? It's free, it's open to everyone, it's on every single platform, so if you play Battlefield 4, you don't really have any excuse for not trying it. I would recommend it, and hopefully we're not all going to be disappointed. As always, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.